Welcome to We Do It for the Culture Radio, where our stories matter. We got another great show lined up for you guys here today. As usual, here on We Do It for the Culture Radio, we try to discuss things that can directly or indirectly affect the black community. And today we're going to be talking about one of those things that I feel that sometimes goes uninformed or, or sometimes we're just not educated about. And we're going to be talking today about taxes. And we have a few guests that we're going to be talking to today. And the first guest that we are going to be talking with today is going to be Miss Zena Crook. Let's give it up for Miss Zena Crook, y'all. Let's give it up for Miss Zena Crook.
Hello. Hey, thank you.
Now, Miss Zena Crook is from Lansing, Michigan. She is a mother of five. She's a realtor, former radio personality for 12 years. We got something in common there, Miss Crook.
Yeah.
Actress, entrepreneur, and tax company owner in the business for 9 years. She just relocated to Atlanta. So welcome to the show, Miss Crook. We're thankful for having you here. We're glad to have you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Oh man, we are too. We are too for sure. And we're gonna be talking about Ms. Zena Crook about taxes and how to better prepare for them, and she's gonna give you guys some little tidbits that you can use when you're trying to get your taxes done as well. So make sure you listen to everything that she has to say. If you can, get your pen and pad out, take some notes, whatever you got to
Tell
do.
a friend, tell a family member.
Because she's gonna be giving you all the tea. That's what she's gonna be doing. And we have another guest, the fabulous Miss Shamika Freeman. How you doing today, Miss
Welcome
Freeman?
back.
Hey guys, welcome back. Good to see you guys again.
Yeah. We're gonna be easy on you today.
That'd be nice.
It got a little crazy before. We're gonna be easy on you this time, now. But we didn't mean for it to get crazy. It was just one of those things. You know what I mean? It gets like that sometimes here on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're definitely thankful to have you back here again. Now, like I was saying before, I think that there are three things in the black community that plagues us the most, are three things that we're really uninformed about or just uneducated about. And those three things are credit. Credit is definitely one of those things that I believe that we are very uninformed about. Health, our health in the black community. Sometimes we just don't take it serious, or we just don't do the things that we need to do in the black community about keeping ourselves healthy. We are plagued with a lot of diabetes and high blood pressure and all that stuff, whatever. But that's another whole show. And the other, of course, is the financial services realm of things, and that could cover a lot of things from insurance to money management. But the biggest one here is probably taxes, and we want to talk about that. Taxes is one of those things that we believe we just hand somebody our W-2 and let them do what they do, and that's it. Especially if you're uninformed, if you're uneducated. But today, we're going to be informing you and educating you on some things you probably just don't know about, or that you should know, to help you when you are trying to prepare your taxes. Miss Crook, you've been doing this for 9 years now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you, which one are you better? Does people need the most information? Is it the business owners or the people who have the W-2s, who pretty much work for a living or something like that, or work for a company?
So it's going to be the business owners for sure. It's a lot of things that business owners can take advantage of. If you have a a regular 9 to 5, just the W-2 is not much you can do with your taxes. But make sure you have taxes taken out throughout the year. Nothing extra that you can do, just having a 9 to 5, right? So having a business, there's a lot of things you can write off. There's a lot of things that people don't know they can write off. I just made a post on Facebook yesterday. If you go to a concert, right? And if you're passing out flyers or passing out some marketing material, that trip, all those expenses that your ticket, your concert ticket, the miles getting there, everything that has to do with going to that concert, you can write it off because it's associated with your business. You're going there to pass out flyers and things. So it's a lot that you can do being a business owner.
Hold on, you said concert tickets?
Yes.
Now,
if you go to a concert, and you're making it business related, right? I'm going to the Beyonce concert. I'm gonna pass out some flyers while I'm there. Those tickets are high. I'm gonna write the price of those tickets off.
Nah, I've done some tax write-off in my days, but I don't believe concert tickets was one that I thought I could get away with. And I'm always trying to get away with something. You know what I mean? So I just didn't know that was one of them.
Oh yeah. You make it business related, and you can write it off.
So let me ask this question: should a person go to a CPA first before the tax preparer, or is it vice versa? Because I remember I was talking to my brother the other day, and he was like, talk to them about the process of HR and why they make it so hard for us as HR and accounting people to get things done.
I don't want to. I'm not a CPA, right? I prepare taxes. It just really depends on the person. I don't want to say it's not necessary to go to a CPA. They are trained professionals, and they know. There are some that may not know as much as someone that's not a CPA. So they're very, very knowledgeable. I just spoke with a young lady, and last year was the year of the tax return, right? So a lot of people got a lot of money back, business owners. Okay. So I amended someone's taxes. She owed the IRS $20,900. She cut them a check, paid the money. And I amended her taxes, and I told her if I did your taxes, had you come to me, you would have got $9,000 back. So I'm going to amend her taxes. She went to a CPA. I'm gonna amend her taxes. The IRS is gonna cut her a check for $29,000. They're gonna give her money back plus some. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Shucky. I'm thinking the CPA. Not to take anything. I'm thinking they got all the answers, and that they could probably. But wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's just a matter of the knowledge and the education, of what people know. You can do taxes for 30 years, and you just don't know a lot of things. Change every year with the IRS, and of course with the pandemic, a lot happened, and there were a lot of extra credits, especially for the year 2021. So a lot of people, a lot of preparers, even some CPAs, they were unaware of the credits that were out there for business owners.
Okay, but that also varies from state to state, though, right? It's not across the board, right?
It's for the whole country. Now, some states, they have different credits, like Michigan. They have the homestead credit. If you pay rent, there's a big credit for that. They don't have that in many other states. But that's across the board. As far as the sick leave, the COVID credits for 2021, that's across the board, all states.
Okay. Now, there are some new things that have taken place, right? Since the COVID and stuff like that. I'm assuming there's like more tax breaks and stuff like that are out there. Are there some things that's changing in the taxes since the COVID thing? Like any major changes?
Yeah, major changes are that all those extra credits are gone now. We're back to the pre-pandemic era with taxes. So we're back to normal. The pandemic is over, and all of those extra credits they took away. So that's the major thing. A lot of another thing too that's changing that's pretty big, being able to write your vehicle off in its entirety 100% if it's over 6,000 pounds. This will be the last year, 2022, that they can do that. Anybody can do that. So that's a major change. Another major change.
Okay, but I was thinking like because of COVID and the whole PPP loans and stuff like that, whatever that
No.
no.
No, well, go ahead.
I was thinking because of the PP loan things, whatever, that it would kind of like, can you benefit from can you get money back from that on those PPP loans?
Well, the PPP loans, that's a whole nother air, but the PPP loans, that has nothing to do with, when you go to get your taxes filed or you go to file your taxes, you don't report any of that. When people were applying for those, they had to show tax documents in order to find out how much they qualify for, right? But when you go to file your taxes, you don't have to have any of that information.
Okay, gotcha. Before I continue on, because I want to really get into the spill of things, but I want to make sure my audio is right. I'm getting some feedback saying that my audio is maybe a little messed up. So hold on one second. Let me make sure it's right here.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome back to the show. We had to make sure we get our audio correct. I was getting some feedback that they weren't able to hear everything.
Okay.
Okay. Now, okay. Either one of you can answer this question. What are some things like I can do to reduce my tax bill if I was to come to one of you guys? What are some things I can do to reduce my tax bill as far as deductions and credits and stuff like that? I want to know as a business owner. Because the reason I'm asking is because I was going to go get a condo a couple of years ago, and I was told that I couldn't get approved for mortgage because of I was doing too many deductions, so it wasn't look like I was making a profit enough. You know what I mean? So I was trying to hide so much to the point where I could put as little as possible, only for it to affect me when I'm ready to go buy something. Now I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do now? So now over the next year, so I gotta make it look like I'm making money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You killed your AGI. That's what we call it.
That was
you
cool.
killed your adjusted gross income. Yeah. So, and that's why it's so important when you have a client, you talk to your client, you ask questions, you see what they have going on, right? Of course, everybody wants to do that. Everybody wants to lower their tax liability. So when you do that, right? So say you have, say you made $100,000 with your business, and you owe, and I'm gonna just throw a number out there, you owe 22,000. Okay. So if you start writing expenses off, you have say you pay rent $2,000 a month. Okay. You got to help me out with this, Shamika. So $2,000 a month times 12 months is 24,000, right? So that's one expense, 24,000. So now instead of making 100,000, you subtract 24,000. Now you're at, what is that? 76,000, right? So you keep going. You have a person that you pay to do work for you. So you paid them $20,000, right? So you lower that. You write that off. So now we're at what, 74? Where were we at? 70, 76? Okay, subtract 20,000 because you paid somebody to work. So now we're at 56,000. So now instead you owe $9,000, right? So you keep going, you keep writing all that off, and you get yourself down to 20,000. So say you had $80,000 in deductions. When you go to try to get a house, the bank is going to look at your tax return. They're not going to look at your check stubs. They're not going to look at your bank statements unless you get a different type of loan. But you kill your AGI when you do that. So it's important to communicate with your client. You ask your client, are you trying to purchase a home anytime soon in the next year or two? You know, or three, because sometimes
we're told to try to pay as little as possible.
Yes.
Taxes, you know, but we're not told that if we do that, then it's going to hurt us in this situation. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I got to take at least this year definitely and another year to show that I'm, you know, that at least that I'm making some money, whatever. So it can't be used against me. I mean, that's a killer.
Yeah, I had a client. She called me. Show she made after she wrote everything off. I think it was like $10,000 or something like that. She's trying to buy a house. So now she's scrambling and she can't buy a house because I said you have to kind of pick your poison. You know what I mean? Do you want to lower your tax liability and not pay the IRS, or do you want to show your income and go buy the things that you want to buy? Because you can't do both, you know?
Gotcha.
I work for a private school, and we just recently picked up our W-2s. But when the message went out for us to pick up our W-2s, in the message, it actually stated that we are to come and pick up either our W-2s or our 1099. I was wondering, with my school being a private sector, why would it be that way? Why wouldn't everybody just have money coming out of their taxes?
So with the 1099, no taxes are generally going to be taken out of the 1099. If you are a W-2 employee, you'll have taxes taken out, but it just depends on when you start the job and you fill all your paperwork out, how much you want them to take out. Now, what we're seeing recently, a lot of employers from the pandemic, due to the pandemic, they did not take a lot of federal taxes out of people's, checks.
Right.
And when it's time to, and the government was trying to help people, let's not take taxes out of their checks so they can live through this pandemic. It's bad out here, So now it's time to do your taxes and you didn't pay any federal taxes. And it's bad. You know what I mean? Like, it helped during the year, but it's ugly now. Like, you're not getting any money at all. But, I tell a lot of people, like, you didn't notice, you know what I mean, that you were getting most of your money. Because a lot of times people think like, oh, I made $1,100, but I only got $800. Like you got to pay attention to that. So you can go to HR and say, hey, I want to take an extra 25 out of each check, to help cover that. Or you could change your you could change it altogether,
Right.
what you want to claim.
Fortunately, I'm the W-2. I have the W-2, but then there was employees that were getting a 1099, and they was like, well, we didn't know we had that option. And I don't even know how to explain how I have a W-2 and they have 1099s.
Yeah, a 1099 is better.
Yeah, I would definitely say.
Oh, yeah?
Because you are self-employed. If you have a 1099, you basically, the difference between the W-2 and the 1099, most employers, you got to kind of think about this way. W-2, I tell you when to come to work, right? I used to work at General Motors. They told me, you come to work Monday through Friday from 6 to 2 p.m. This is what you have to do. On the flip side, with my daycare, I had a daycare, and the people that worked for me, I gave them a 1099. They told me when they were available. So that's the difference between a W-2 and a 1099. W-2, the company tells you when to come to work. 1099, you work when you want to.
Okay.
So that's the big difference. 1099, you won't pay any taxes. You are responsible for your own taxes. So it's kind of good because you have all your money throughout the whole year. But then when it's time to do your taxes, you didn't pay any taxes, which is bad. But you can write things off. You can go to that concert. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
you can write things off with a 1099. You can't with a W-2.
Now, Ms. Freeman, I saw you posting some things on Facebook about, before you file your taxes, reach out to me. There's some things you may not know. There's some, maybe some little tidbits or secrets that people may not know about. What are some of those things that they may be able to use to monetize getting a higher tax refund back?
Well, first, there's a couple things. One thing that I just learned recently from working with Zena, because she's an expert at this, and I just have learned so much. But what I've learned is that families need to plan their taxes together, like have conversations about your taxes. Like if you need a daycare provider, work with your family, trade information with your family. Other cultures do it. They plan for
Right.
taxes. They don't just show up at the tax office and say, here you go. They plan through this all year. And so the best thing I can say is just work with your family, work with your friends, build a tax network, and then reach out to a professional and work together to ensure that you get the best refund and maximize your tax benefit. But I'm going to go back to the 1099 just quickly. So I work in a school, and so Rosetta, what has happened is schools will contract certain employees because they don't really want to take them on and pay benefits for them as full-time employees. So
Right.
they'll contract them out, and then they'll say, you're responsible for everything. We're not going to provide anything. And you're really totally at will. We can fire you when you want to. You're just contract work. And so they have a 1099. So you're probably in a better position if you don't have a 1099 as far as your job's security is concerned for working in the school. But for business purposes and filing taxes, it could be some benefits.
So does that mean you're covered by the union if you are
No,
running the school?
No, you are a contract worker. You're not covered by anything. At any given day, they can say, our contract is over. You're done. See you later.
Okay. Now, but what about those little nuggets that you was telling me about? Okay, listen, you could probably save on, you could probably there's like these deductors you were talking about that people don't know about. Ms. Freeman, what are some of those deductions that people don't know about that they could probably use, to get a high?
There's different things. Like there's the school credit going to college. You can get credit for that. A lot of young people kind of stay out of school, and you can just go half time, and that's going to give you $1,000 back on your taxes as a young person. And I know that can help someone out immensely when they're trying to take care of books and supplies and rent and whatever else. So that's just one, and I know Zena has way more that I can offer, but that's one that I find to be very helpful for young people.
Come on, Zena, come with it. Don't hide. Let us know.
All right. I'm gonna give a couple of them out. Any more, you got to come to exact tax.
I like that.
But just the way that I am, I don't mind sharing information. So one thing that a lot of people do not know about is, if you have a dependent, right? I have 3 small children, 3 children that's under 18, and you can, if you have daycare expenses, right? So I have a 7 and an 8-year-old. I claim them on my taxes. I pay child care. You can claim that on your taxes and you get some back. Not as much as you could last year. It was a huge credit last year. But this year it's still there. It's just not as big as it was. Now, the flip side of that, you can take advantage of the child care credit, right?
Mhm.
For a child that's not a dependent of yours, right? So if I have my 7 and 8-year-old, right, and I'm claiming them, they lived with me. And so if you do your taxes and you provided the daycare for me, you pay for my daycare, you can claim that on your tax return.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Another one, look how she look. She's like, hold on, what? That's a huge gem. I know a lot of people don't know about that, but yeah. Another one too, I always like to talk about it. Business owners, like, it's such a great benefit to be a business owner. It's not for everybody, but it's a lot of benefits to it. We have all of our whole team. We've been doing amendments like crazy, and if you are a business owner, you can take advantage of the COVID credits, the Family Sick Leave Act. We had one return, they got $40,000 back. I had another return, they got $30,000 back. She did not work at all for the whole year, did not work during 2021. There's things called the look back credit where you can go back and look at the income from prior years to calculate the credit that you would get for 2021. So that's another one too. Another huge gem outside of the child care credit.
So you make it sound like if you work less, you can get more.
Unfortunately, that's what it is. That it is so sad because and I think it's so unfair. I hate doing, when I do somebody's taxes and they made decent money, 100,000 or 60,000, single and no kids, I just automatically just feel so bad for them because it's kind of like they're penalized for not having children. They're penalized for making a good income. You know what I mean? And I just feel like it's unfair when it comes to that aspect. But if you don't make much money, you have children, there's huge benefits. You get the earned income credit, you get the child tax credit. There's so much you get, but it's still people that have no children that make decent money that still could use some credits. I feel like everybody should automatically get, if you're single with no kids, you should automatically get $1,000 or something. It should be something that you should get. It's people that's 26 years old and they made 40,000 and paid some taxes out there checking. They still owe money, and it's just it's sad. It's sad.
Now, I'm now in a situation where, even though I still have a 1099, I still have my business. I'm now under the umbrella of AAA insurance, along with I still have Time Insurance Group. When I file, what's the best way for me to do this, considering that I have the 1099 and I have the W-2? So what kind of deductions do I qualify for, even though I'm still technically self-employed and I'm employed at the same time?
So with your W-2, you'll put that on your return. The 1099 is for what type of business is it? What type of business is it for?
Insurance.
Okay. You can write off do you pay car insurance or is that free because you?
No, I pay car insurance.
Okay. So you can write off your car insurance. You can write, of course, your mileage. You can write off your cell phone. Anything that's associated with that job that you have. If you had to purchase a computer for that, you can write off. What else can you write off? Internet. If you have internet, you can write off any.
Oh yeah, I'm taking these nuggets
She's
down.
writing everything.
I had to see this.
You can write off. You can write off if you meet, like, right, I have a insurance person in Michigan and one in Georgia. If I need to meet, sometimes I had one lady, she said, I was kind of busy. She said, we can stop and meet at Starbucks, right? You can write that off. If you stop and meet someone, you can write business meals off. Now, if you got to eat all day, it's totally different. But if you have like a business lunch or something like that, you can write that off. Okay. Anything, and to be honest, like depending on what it is that you do, I had somebody laughing at me the other day, and I'm like, oh, Instacart. They go, to the grocery store and they get the groceries for people.
Mhm.
You're walking around the grocery store. So, do you get comfortable shoes? The shoes that you purchase, you can write those off. You have to walk around the grocery store. You know what I mean? Like
Wow.
you can write off a lot of things. You just have to really, you got to really just be creative and really think. What do you need? What do you have to do? Like you have to wear shoes. You got to have comfortable shoes. You're walking around the grocery store. So it just really depends on the nature of the business.
See, my situation is kind of like in the same realm of doing the same type of business. But what about somebody like Miss Freeman, who's a school teacher over here, and she has doing the daycare over here, and she's doing the taxes here? How would she come in? How would she itemize her things so that you know what I mean? Every itemization is different for each one. Like, I mean, how do you tell people? Because I know some people just come in with shoe boxes full of receipts. What's the best way to itemize, especially when somebody like Miss Freeman, who's doing like wearing like 3 or 4 hats? Like, what do you do, Miss Freeman, to itemize your stuff when you got 3 or 4 hats you're wearing?
Well, I just learned recently that I'm putting everything on a Schedule C and I'm writing things off individually for my businesses, unless they're the same business type or in the same industry.
Okay.
If it's the same industry, I put everything on the one, Schedule C. But if it's a separate one, like totally different, then I, have a separate form to file. So, and then I found my W-2s as well. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the people that come in with those shoe boxes, and that's gonna cost. We got to pull. Make sure you want me to pull this out and count everything up. But I mean, some people do that. And there's a thing called it's an app called Keeper that just came out, and it will connect with your bank, right? And it will pull up every expense that you don't even think about. So that's something new that's out there. There's an app out there, and you can connect it with your bank account, and it'll pull all expenses for you.
Because it's kind of hard to know everything. Like, okay, well, I got my computer and my internet and my my insurance. So now, I mean, it's to try to keep receipts for all that stuff and try to keep everything. It's like you can't keep all that stuff in your head. So it's got to be some way to
Yeah.
be prepared so that when you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember one year I had a purse, and I said I'm gonna save all my receipts this year, and it didn't go well. I wasn't able to do it. But I had one client, she just uses one credit card for everything associated with the business. And I was like, God bless you. You know what I mean? Like all you got to do is pull up your statements, and we got everything there. But you have to, and that's the thing too, like we have to educate people. Sometimes we have to reconstruct businesses for people. We have to reconstruct their expenses. We have to ask them, okay, so what do you literally, what do you have to do during the week? What do you have to do no matter what it is? If you're a barber, if you're a car detailer, if you have a daycare, no matter what it is, we have to reconstruct that for people sometimes. And the IRS knows. I mean, I went to a convention and met the tax commissioner. They know, they're real people. They know that it's people that only get paid cash and they don't have things, you just have to reconstruct it, write it down. We have to tell you guys, all the taxpayers, you got to get better with this. There's these different programs, and it's a matter of just keeping track. You can get a notebook, you can get something like this right here.
Yeah, sometimes you get too busy. I mean, like, how thorough do you really have to be? I mean, how thorough is the IRS really looking for you to be when it comes to getting this information, especially when it comes to deductions? Are they willing to? Do they expect 100% accuracy?
I want to say yes and no, right? Because if you get audited, they probably won't ask you for everything, and sometimes they will. Depends on the tax return. Some tax preparers, the way they do taxes, it kind of can raise a red flag. Like if some people do a lot of, they itemize a lot, do a lot of write-offs. That's something that, because sometimes it's not even necessary. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, I have one, she, I was doing her taxes and she it was $300 to the church for the year, and she want, you put it on there, you put on there. I'm like, I did, but it didn't do anything, so I took it off. Like, there's no point in having it on there if it's not going to do anything for you. If you put it on there, it does not change the amount that you owe or the amount you're getting back. There's no point in putting it on there if we still do and they audit you and hold up your return because they want to see this one thing that didn't do anything for you, But I've had one lady, when she was 18, she was audited, and she never responded to them. So when she turned 26 and she had a kid, I did her taxes for her. They audited her, and only thing they asked her for was proof of her cell phone bill and proof of she sent them a flyer. They sent her money. Everything was good. So it just really depends. It really, really depends. But you don't have to, like I said, they know people don't keep up with that. It's good to try. It's good to try. Even if you a barber and you take money every month, just think about it. Like every couple days, just try to get as close as you can. Who came this day, or how much did I make this day? Just write it down on a piece of paper. There's no right or wrong way to run your business. That's the key right there. They can't tell you how to run your business.
I know a lot of people fear maybe the inaccuracy of something. They
Right.
fear the IRS, or maybe I didn't have the exact amount that they were looking for on my car insurance on my phone or something. And it's like, you just don't know how tedious it's going to come down to.
Yeah. And it can be. That's why when you're doing taxes, you want to ask them, like, put what you can prove. We've seen it all. Even Shamika so far, like, we've seen it all. Just the stuff that's on the return. Like, if it's somebody whose taxes we were doing for the first year, we'd like to see a copy of the previous return, right? And you just have to make things make sense. I just saw one today. We're doing an amendment. The person had on there that they made $46,000. That's another nugget there. Never use zeros. Like, how can your income be 46,000 for the year? Like, it's very rare, So the expenses was 25,000 even. That just kind of looks crazy. How are you going to find that and add this up for the IRS? It's rarely going to end with 000. So it can get tedious depending on what you have on your return.
Okay. Anything? Because I do have a question. Is it better to file with your husband or your wife, or is it better to file alone? Yeah, let's get right.
Yeah.
The people want to know. The people want to know.
Woo! Oh my goodness. So people like to file separately, right? Because somebody may owe child support, or somebody might have a debt out there and they don't want their tax to get taken. But you can do something called an injured spouse. And hold
on. Could you say that word again? Injured spouse, you said?
Injured spouse.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Injured spouse, yes. So, say I'm married, me and my husband, he has child support he owes. We do our taxes. He owes $5,000 and our return is $6,000. You can file injured spouse and they won't take my portion of it. But on the flip side, my portion might be $1,000, it might be $5,000. You have to let the IRS kind of figure out whose portion is what. So you can do that. But a lot of people like to file separate because there's a debt out there, or they have this going on. I have one client so, and this piggybacks on what you said before about buying a house, right? So he wanted to buy his wife and his daughter a beautiful house, this nice big house. He owns a trucking company. So he did his taxes and didn't do any write-offs. So he just put on there, he made $150,000, right? So he can get this nice house that he wants. So when he does his taxes, $150,000, he owes the IRS $30,000. And he let that be so he can buy this house. So now the IRS is on him. I said, they'll take your house. You know what I mean? They'll lock your bank account up, right? So she does her taxes without him because he got a lot going on. He owed the IRS all this money, and so she files it separately. But
come back to bite you though?
Huh?
Can that come back to bite you in the anus though?
It can bite hard too. That's one of the earned income credit. Claiming a child is one of the things that the IRS is one of the things with the most fraud, right? And also filing status. You can file single, head of household, married filing jointly, married filing separately, or widow, right? Um, Two people cannot file head of household at the same address. I just had a tax return the other day, husband and wife, they filed separately before they got married. Both of them were filing head of household at the same address. I said you can't do it, right? But that is one of the, outside of the child credit, claiming the children, filing status is a thing that the IRS really looks at. Now, if you can show proof that you did not live with your spouse, you know what I mean? There's something going on, you guys had different addresses, then yes, you can do that. But people do that. If they find out, they will recalculate your whole return and you'll end up on. But a lot of people don't know, like married filing jointly, there's credits to that. You know what I mean? There's pluses to that sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Depending on income.
All right, because I know some people are like, I'm gonna file for my kid, whatever. But sometimes I was like, I'm filing for it because I pay child support, whatever. So, it's like a tug of war between who files
first,
who gets to claim the kid, whatever. Then who's gonna be penalized because they did it. So people are,
yeah,
worried about, can I be in trouble because we both filed and both claim the same kid?
Yeah, so you can't, two people can't claim the same kid, but if someone files a child and they're not supposed to, right? I have that too. I have some people, I'll do their taxes and it'll come back rejected and say, this child was already claimed on another return. People, identity theft, all that is out there, right? But I tell them you can mail it and mail proof that the child lived with you, mail the birth certificate and all that proof, and you mail it into the IRS. They'll look at it and they'll eventually give you your money, and then they'll go after the person. I had one client, there was a court order. Sometimes people have court orders. 1 year, the mother can claim the kid. The next year, they have even in odds. They for years. I had one client, it was his year, and it was last year, the best year ever to file taxes, right, with all these extra credits. So he about to get $16,000. It's rejected. The mom claimed the baby, and she wasn't supposed to. It wasn't her year. Court order. She did not care.
Wow.
So I told them, you can mail it. They'll send you your money. You can mail it. So yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure the turnaround time is like crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. But you'll eventually get it, You eventually get it.
Okay. What about people who want to say, they're in a bind financially and they decide they want to file? What is it when you can file? You can go without paying the tax, having it deducted out. What they call that? On your W-2 or on your statement, you can. There's something you can file when you want to, like, you want them to take out less out of your paycheck.
You can request to be exempt with your employer.
Exempt, yeah, you file an exempt. Okay, yeah. So yeah, okay, yeah. I'm glad you helped me out. So you file an exempt with your employer because you want to, you want to
keep your money,
your paycheck. You want more money coming in your paycheck. How many months should you do that before you get things back on the right track, before you go back to filing regularly again? Oh, suck it, duck
it. Zero.
Yeah, crazy. True story. So I used to work for the state of Michigan, and a lot of officers would file 9. They would call HR and change their exemptions to 9 for Christmas time because we had all these big bonuses coming and they didn't want to tax. But what happened was they forgot to change it back. And then at the end of the year, what happened, Zena?
They're crying. But this is the thing too, like, first, you're not supposed to do it, GM, we got our profit sharing, right? So everybody at GM, we all did that. Like in January, we got to get exempt so we can get that full, 9, 10, 12,000. People can forget. They do forget. But eventually, and you think about, I'm getting all my check, so I got to change this. But it's like, it's too much like, right. You know what I mean? Like people, and I get it, like people want their money. But you going to get your money throughout the year, or you going to get it during tax time. You got to choose. You can't get both. unless you're a business owner, because I'm gonna be transparent. When I worked at GM, I was exempt the whole time, pretty much. You know,
The whole time? I thought you could only do it for like 6 months or something like that. No?
yeah,
What?
but I got kids, you know, so that kind of helped me. But I also had a business, so I was able to offset all of that. You know what I mean? No matter how much I made, you know, I had a business. I was able to write things off, and it just kind of, I still got money back every year. I still got money back. Didn't pay a dime in taxes.
Wow.
You know, that's the benefit to having a business. You know, because you're gonna have expenses, you know, every year. But yeah, going exempt. And I have some people. Oh, I'm gonna do it 6 months, and then I'm gonna change it back. Yeah, and when they come with their W-2, I'm like, yeah, you ain't changed it, did you? You know.
Man.
So
It's not gonna work for somebody like me who doesn't have no kids.
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I'm I fucked up already. I done did it already.
Unless you do it. Unless you do it, you know, like do it when you need it, 2-3 months, you know, but then go, if you're gonna do it, offset it, and some months do 0 and let them take a lot to kind of even it out.
But it hasn't been 6 months yet, so I got time to change it. Right?
You do. But you know, you got a business though. You gotta get you a business, start your business.
I got one. I already got one.
Oh, you good.
Just started another one. Just started another one, but I can't find nothing on that one because I just started it. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Children is the answer to that though. I tell people all the time, go have a baby.
Mika, you want to have any more children?
Yeah, no, no, sir.
I need somebody to have a baby with. Yeah, check it out.
Just go pay somebody's childcare, right?
Pay somebody's child.
Yes.
Yeah, go find it. There you go.
Pay somebody's child care.
Beautiful. So, what about people who have like side hustles? How can side hustles affect your taxes? You know, by having a side hustle at all? Because I know a lot of people out there say, you know, sometimes they can't make it with their job, so they got a side hustle. Like Mika got like five side hustles going on right now. How does that affect her? Somebody like her with so many side hustles going on.
It helps.
So the more side hustles you got, the better. Do they have to be LLCs?
No, that's crazy you said that, because I just told somebody earlier, like the IRS does not recognize, they don't acknowledge like an LLC. Like when you get an EIN, you'll let them know how you want to form it. You know, if it's your sole proprietor, LLC, S Corp, C Corp, you know, things like that. But I have some people, I had one lady, you know, I have a business. She was like, but, you know, it's not an LLC. She said it is an LLC, but she didn't pay. You know, you got to keep paying every year. And I'm like, the IRS doesn't care about that. They don't check to see if you're still registered with the state. You know, they don't care. If you're stealing cars, they want you to pay taxes on that money that you're making from stealing cars. Like for real. Unless you give the car back to its rightful owner, you know, but they don't recognize LLCs or nothing like that. They just want you to pay.
I think I just recently seen something on that Zena where they said if you're selling drugs, if you're robbing people, we want our money.
I posted that. That's on the IRS website, like for real. If you illegal activities, you still got to pay taxes on that. And if you're stealing goods, you still got to pay taxes on that. We want you to report that. But if you give it back to the person that it belongs to, you don't have to pay taxes on it anymore.
And that ain't gonna happen.
Right. 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 They want you to pay. It don't matter what it is. They want you to pay.
Now there are those of us, you know, that have to pay out of pocket for like medical expenses. Are those things deductible at all? How does that work with medical expenses? Can you deduct medical expenses? Any one of y'all can answer that?
You can. It has to be a significant amount. That will go on a form called a Schedule A. And it will not do anything. I mean, you can report it all day long. You can put whatever it is. If it's 1,000, 10,000, it has to be a significant amount. Every person's return is different because no matter what you're putting in, it's an overall, you know, it's your overall return, everything that you have in there, but it has to be a lot. So that goes on medical expenses goes on a Schedule A. And everything on the Schedule A has to add up to a lot in order for it to actually make you, get a refund or make you owe less, to change your tax liability, basically. So you can do medical expenses. You can do medical miles, so say for instance, if you live in the UP or something in Michigan, but you have to drive to Ann Arbor, Michigan for, surgery or for whatever the case is, those miles that you drove, you can write that off too. But again, it has to be a significant amount for it to do something.
Okay.
So people who have crypto investments, are they supposed to pay taxes on that?
Yeah, you have to report it, and it depends. It depends. Now, that's not every time I have a client, because I don't have a lot of clients like that. But I have a tax mentor, and I've probably had in my 9 years maybe 8. I do have some people that forget about them, but yeah, you have to report that too. It also asks you in our software if you have any foreign accounts. Have you seen that, Shamika? Any foreign accounts? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Okay.
So you have to report that.
Now, Shamika, I know, man, you discussed that you're gonna do my taxes this year, right? So here's the thing, right? Ever since they told me that about the applying for the mortgage, whatever, that I wasn't showing, whatever, I have not filed my taxes since then, right? I'm like, what's the purpose of it? I can't get the home. So my thing is, from 2020, I believe, 2019, 20, whatever, I haven't filed. Is that going to hurt me? And plus, now that I have a W-2 coming from North Carolina, and my other stuff was coming from Delaware, is that going to affect me at all when I give you my all my information? Because I've been trying to hold off on giving you anything, because I think I'm still waiting for maybe 1 or 2 items to come in my PO box, whatever, so I can give you everything in one shot. Is that going to be a problem for going back a year or 2 or something like that?
Well, it's kind of hard to be for sure, because you have to look at everything. So we pull everything in, review it, and see where you're at. And then we also need to get those taxes filed that you missed, right? So Zena, you want to piggyback on that?
Yeah, you're 21. I don't want to say it, but it might be a great thing, being a business owner for 2021, being affected by COVID, so that's going to be with you not having any dependents, right? No dependents.
No dependents.
Okay. You're still qualified for the COVID credits for the Family Sick Leave Act because of COVID. So
I gotta do the Cabbage Patch. Hold on.
Oh, you're gonna be doing if you get 10,000 back.
Yo, make sure you do me right.
Got you.
Let me ask you a question. Which one is better, a tax credit or a tax deduction? Which one is more valuable to you? You know what I mean? Like, because everybody's looking for a deduct. I know for me, I'm always thinking about the deductible. You know what I mean? Never really considering the credit. Which one is better? And what does it apply to a W-2 or,
Nothing applies to a W-2.
Okay.
Nothing applies to a W. So nothing applies if you're working for somebody else. I guess that's a good way to think about it too. But for me, it just depends on how much you made, right? If you've made less than 50,000, it's the credits for me. You know what I mean? Like if you made over like a lot of money, it's the deductions, because you're deducting from how much you made. It's deducting how much taxes you got to pay, how much you owe. So it's kind of like both. You know what I mean? Like if I have a person that's 25, no kids, how much I'm gonna get back? You're not gonna get nothing back. There's no credits for you to get back. So it just depends on the income. Credits are wonderful if they're refundable, right? But deductions it depends on your income. So if you made a lot of money, deductions help you. If you made, if you didn't make, if you have lower income, the credits help you.
So there's a threshold that we're looking at, basically, somewhere around there.
Yes. Yeah.
And for somebody like me, what's better? Is it better if I itemize or claim a standard deduction? Do I claim a standard deduction for the AAA, and do I do a itemize for the business? Is that how that works?
you are going to, I mean, you can, if you, I don't want to say, the word that I like to use is red flaggish. And itemizing sometimes can be that, because sometimes people get carried away with it. Like I said, the Schedule A, you have to have a lot on there for it to do something. So people kind of get carried away, with that. But standard deduction, that goes, it's based on your income. I feel like, a standard deduction is fine. I mean, itemizing is great too, but it's like you got to have that proof, and you have to have a lot of it
Okay.
to itemize things. Like with your car, I just had a prepared call asking about gas and mileage, oil changes, tires, things like that, and mileage. You can't do both. You have to do one or the other. And most of the time, claiming the mileage is going to be better, especially for 2022, because the second half of the year they raised the amount that you get back for mileage to for the end of 2022.
So
But you
mileage
can't
is
do
better.
both. Yeah,
Mileage is better.
miles is better unless you have something. You have a lot. Like one year, I chose to itemize it, and I did oil changes. I did tires because I had to get an engine put in my vehicle. So I did that, and it kind of, I did both ways, and it worked better for me to itemize the expenses for my truck.
Are you guys out there listening? If you have your own business and you have a vehicle that you use, the mileage is deductible. The oil changes are deductible. Any maintenance, I'm assuming any maintenance, right, is
Yeah,
deductible.
yeah.
Y'all listen to that? Okay, because I didn't know about I knew about the mileage, but I didn't know about the oil change or other stuff, whatever. So I'm shooting myself in the foot, you know. I also when it comes to doing deductibles, I do like I was even doing my dry cleaning. Is that legal?
You can if you have to. So look, so that's making me think about something else. But so dry cleaning, if you are a realtor, you know what I mean? You
Hmm.
have to have your clothes dry cleaned. You have to have your clothes pressed, steamed nice, so you can look nice when you're out showing houses. So yes, depending on what it is.
Okay, I'm an insurance agency. I had to make sure, I got to be, you
Yeah.
know,
If you are if you work at a gentleman's club, right? You're a
Mhm.
dancer. The BBL, if you got a BBL, you can write that off because you have to have that physique, you know. So it just, if it's associated with your business or what you do, you can write it off for sure.
Okay, gotcha. I'm trying to. I don't want to hold you ladies too long tonight, whatever. So I just want to get through
Yeah,
some,
right, yeah, right, yeah, right.
you know what I mean, real quick. Now, a lot of people see these things on their check and they don't know what they can do with them or if they can use them on their taxes. One is the FSA, which is a flexible spending account, and the other one is a health savings account, the HSA. Are any of those Can any of those be deductible or used as a credit at all?
So no, it's just basically you're able to use that and not be taxed. You know what I mean? That's all that is.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have to get more money though.
No. Mm-mm. It just is there for you in advance. Like if you do $1,000 for the year, is there one lump sum, and then they take it out of your checks throughout the year, but it's just not taxed. So it doesn't make a difference at all. It's nowhere that you put it in the software. It's nowhere that you put. It's no form for it really that's gonna do anything. It's just it's not taxed.
Now, y'all never did that. Supposed to you, Schmick. You never did tell me because of my failure to pay taxes or to do my taxes. Am I going to get in trouble? Because it's been a couple of years.
Trouble is a strong word.
I need somebody tell me, because like I said, I've been trying to hold for the last 2 years. I haven't done anything. So I got a lot of stuff I got to give you from the different providers that I work with, whether it be Safeco, whether it be Progressive, American Independent. I got these forms from all these different providers that I work with in the insurance for my insurance agency, and I haven't been filing them. So am I going to put a lot on you to do this?
Is it going to be penalized?
Yeah, am I going to be penalized? And it's two different states. Yeah.
I'm gonna let Zena answer that question.
If you owe, of course, like if you any money that you owe and you didn't, pay it or take care of it or file it on time, you're gonna be penalized. But I mean, it ain't like they're gonna do you like they did Wesley or the two people. What was the couple that what's the couple they just went Chrisley Richly
Oh, I know you're talking about. I can't even think.
yeah, so I mean, you got to be, for them to come get you. But tax evasion is real, and they don't do too much to us little people, but they will. I've had one client, um, he didn't file his taxes for like 4 or 5 years. So he come to me needing to file all these years, and he sent me a letter and said I got to file these taxes. They'll let you know. They'll send you a letter and say, yeah, you need to do something. But if it's on another scale, then yeah, like the example I told you before with the guy that bought the house, I told him, you're gonna mess around and be in jail in a minute. You can't play with people like that. You owe them like hundreds of thousands. You cannot do that. So yeah.
So,
I was going to add too, with your flexible spending, you talked about medical supplies and trying to get like a tax credit for it. I would encourage you to max out your flexible spending because that's pre-tax dollars, and then use that money to pay for any medical supplies opposed to using your tax dollars.
Mhm.
So
Well,
yeah.
my situation, but because I was trying to use that as an example for somebody else. Me personally, I am a paraplegic, so for me, I wouldn't use that for that. I would just use either Medicare or something like that, whatever, which I do use for my medical supplies. So I'm not using that. You had a question?
Yeah, we have a question from a viewer. Should a sole proprietorship file with their social security number or EIN number?
EIN, if they have an EIN.
And then they want to know why.
Well, a EIN is basically like a social security number for your business. You don't have to, but if you went onto the IRS's website and you applied and you received an EIN, then you need to use that EIN number. It's just basically separating your personal income and your business income. But you can do it without, but having an EIN, it just kind of legitimizes your business, basically. You don't have to, but I think it's very smart to do that because it just separates you from your business.
Okay.
I got another question from a listener. They want to know what is the best app you can use for business purchases or to keep track of your,
QuickBooks is a good one. Keeper is a good app. That's a new app that's out there. Keeper helps you track your expenses, pulls it from your bank account.
Milk uses Waze. Wave.
Okay, yeah. Waze is what's Waze? Waze is something. What is Waze?
Waze is
That's a
GPS. Sorry about that. That's GPS.
I've heard the word Waze before. I use Waze. I'm like, okay, I ain't even asking what it was. I know I heard it before. Okay.
Yeah, GPS. Sorry about that, but it was Wave.
Okay. So wait, yeah.
Okay.
But there's probably plenty out there. I'm sure. I know it is. So they can kind of search, Google different apps, but the main one is QuickBooks, and Keeper is a good one.
And I actually use QuickBooks for my business.
And I got a question from another listener about life insurance. Is that used as a deductible, or how does that work when it comes to filing taxes?
Life insurance, no. Business insurance, yeah. Life insurance, I mean, that's more so of indirect. I mean, you got to have that if you don't work at all. You need life insurance. You know what I mean? So it's not really, no. Business insurance, yes. Liability insurance, anything like that, yeah. But life insurance, because you got to have that anyway. It's not something that you have to have for your business.
Okay, I got another question from another listener. They want to know, should they reach out to their tax advisor or work with them year round as opposed to waiting to one part of the year to start to be concerned with it?
That's a good one. If you're nice, that would be lovely. They would love that. They would appreciate that. Talking to them throughout the year. You guys can also hire your tax professional to help you with your business, to keep your books. And it just makes it so much easier, because doing taxes, especially when you run a business, is stressful. Not even for the not only for the tax preparer, but for you. Like, I can tell when people are stressed, like I need this and that. Oh God, okay, give me a couple of weeks, you know what I mean? But it's like I need it because you want to file your taxes, but it can be very stressful. And I know everybody is busy, but if you take care of that every month, it just makes it so much more seamless.
What
when
about
it's
maybe
like that.
quarterly? Quarterly, maybe? No, a month, every month.
I mean, you can do it quarterly, but just it's easier to just, what did I do this month? You know what I mean? It's easy to be laying in your bed and you just get your, on Sunday. This week I made this and that, did this and that. What did I buy on Monday? I just write it down on just write it right there. You know.
Okay, but here's the question: are tax advisors and tax people like yourself, are you available all year round? Are people have access to you all year round? Because you may be in your other position, or you in your other company, because you don't really have to worry about this until January, February. Can they come to you all year round? Now, are you going to be accessible to them?
They can come to Exact Tax all year round.
And listen, I can attest to that, Rosina, because before I was on board with her as a, as in business with her, I would call her and she would answer. And I wasn't even a client. She's just always there to help you with information. And so you want to be a part of a tax office that's not going to treat you like a number, and that you have that little connection where you can call them or text them and say, hey, this and this is going on, and they'll answer you. Now, if you go somewhere else, you're not going to get that, because once you walk out the door, you are just the number that came through the door. So it's a benefit to work with a company like Exact Tax, because you're going to get that personalized, individualized attention that you won't get anywhere else. So I'd say yes.
I always say I'm 24/7. You can call me anytime. I one of my friends, she's been knowing me for years. She was like, girl, you ain't no 24/7. You be snoring at 1 o'clock. But if I'm up and I hear my phone, I'll wake up and I'll respond to the text. I'll answer. I'm just available. And our clients, they call us about so many things that has nothing to do with taxes. You know what I mean? So it's like we build relationships with people, literally. So,
Yeah, but that's the thing though. When people come to you during tax time, you're doing their taxes. You're getting paid for that. You're not getting paid for people just calling you up every once in a while. Hey, I mean, because you don't get paid for that. That's your time is money. So how does that work? You know what I mean?
But this is the way I think about it too. Now I'm not gonna let nobody question me and walk me through their tax return. I'm not gonna do that. Like okay, you're not gonna question me like that. I'm gonna answer some questions. I'm gonna let you do your thing, but the money is gonna come to you that's the thing. That's why I feel like my company is so successful, because it's not even really about the money. Yes, I love making money. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, I just do it because I love to help people. No, I want to make some money. I gotta feed my kids. But that is gonna come to you. I have people that ask me questions that don't come to me. But then the next year they're gonna come to me because they didn't get what they needed. You know what I mean, from the other person. So it's not all about, that's not what it's about with us. It's not about I'm not getting paid to answer this question. And so many people that I know that's like that, and that they're not gonna, you can't be successful like that, because at the end of the day, you are doing a service for people, and it's not gonna hurt you to answer a question or to, what I'm saying, have a conversation with somebody about taxes, even with real estate. Just, I tell people, you can ask me any question, and I don't even have to sell your house. I'll ask them, but they might send somebody to you. So it's all about building relationships. The money's gonna come. It's gonna come.
Okay. So you're telling me that people can reach you guys year around. Okay. All right.
24/7, as long as we woke.
All right. So before I let you guys go, I just wanted to just ask one more thing, whatever, you know what I mean? What's the best advice you can give someone who has a W-2, and not only as someone who has a business, for filing their taxes this year in particular? What's the best advice you can give them? There's something that they should look out for. There's a special credit. There's a special deduction. Let's start with the W-2 first. Is anything that you could tell them that they can that may be beneficial for them this year when filing taxes? No.
I don't want to say no.
They just tell them they're going to contact you to find out.
Because it depends. It depends on their situation. You know what I mean? Like it could be two people that work at the same place, and one person has more going on. Solar panel. Oh my goodness, we've done like 3 of them. Huge credit for that. Huge credit for fuel. So if the person has a a W-2 and they own a home and they put solar panels on their house, they could get up to $20,000 in a refund from just that alone. So it just really depends on their whole situation. Being knowledgeable is key because we know what to ask. We know what to look for. We know, okay, they have a W-2. What else do you have? Like we know how to interview and ask questions and find out. Some people might not know they have a business. Is this the only income you got? No, this is it. This is the only income I got, and then they might mention, they sell dinners at their job. That's a business. You know what I mean? So it just depends on the person. But with W-2, I can say this. I'm sorry. I can say this as far as the credits are concerned. Huh?
Let it out.
So as far as the credits go, right, with the kids, okay, there's a self-employment tax. So when somebody is self-employed, they're not paying taxes, right? So the IRS is they're going to assess self-employment tax on them. So a person, for instance, if they make $15,000 from braiding hair, they have 3 kids and they're going to get the earned income credit and the child tax credit. And let's say it's $9,400 from braiding hair. They're self-employed. So the IRS, they get $9,400, but the IRS is going to take $3,200 from that. And I'm just throwing numbers out there. So they're only going to get $6,000. On the flip side, if somebody worked at McDonald's and they made $15,000, even if they paid 0 taxes, they're going to get more money. So W-2s, a lot of people say, oh, I only worked there for 2 months. W-2s hold more weight than any other form out there. So W-2s are king this year. You know what I mean? Having a W-2, it does have its pluses, because they hold more weight than Schedule C or self-employment. So I said earlier, having a W-2, but they hold more weight when it comes to doing taxes. So, but make sure y'all letting these companies take taxes out of y'all checks. Even if it's a little bit, just at least let them take 5 cents. Let them take something.
Because I'm guilty. Okay, I'm asking one more question, and I'm gonna let y'all give the best advice that you can give to a customer.
I have a question too.
Okay, so you do yours first, and I'm gonna do mine.
Just a quick question. So, if we had work done to our house in 2021, and we didn't file it, or we didn't get what do you say? Tax credit or whatever for it, is it too late to do that?
You can always amend your taxes at any given time. Your personal home, not a rental home, but the home that you live in.
Right.
Only energy efficient upgrades. Doors, windows, things like that. You can't, like if you had your floors redone in your house, the whole house, and you spent $10,000, you cannot write that off.
Okay. So panels on the house, I could do that because
if it's energy related to being energy efficient. But if it's a rental property, then yeah, that's totally different. That's a whole nother ball game. But your personal house, no.
Oh, personal house, no. Okay.
Yeah.
And for the listeners out there, because I got listeners that listen from all over the place. So the question is for listeners: can you do taxes in another state, whether even if you don't live in that state? Like you guys. Can they do it? Can you guys do it for any state?
We sure can. 844-GO-EXACT, or they can go to Exact Tax, XZACTTAX517.com. They can find all of us. We sure can. If you live in Hawaii, we can do it. If you live in Alaska, we can do it. The whole country, we can do it.
Gotcha. That was my question. Now
we're virtual. We got an app, so we can.
Awesome. They need to hear that. That's awesome.
Yes.
And I just want to let y'all know, just for future reference going forward, you guys have a customer in me. You guys are now officially going to be my tax persons going forward.
Absolutely.
All right.
And you got a good one.
But it's all good. But anyway,
Here we go.
It's all good. She's
smart knucklehead. She's an efficient knucklehead.
My knucklehead. Here's what I say. I want to put the ball in you guys' court. each one of you individually, just give the customers one tidbit, something they should know before filing their tax, or when they're going to file their taxes. Yeah, just give them one thing that they should do or know. And then after that, I want you guys to plug your information so the people out there will know where they can find you and where to reach you. So, Mika, you go first. Give the people just a nugget, whatever. Just give them one thing that they should know or they should do when they're coming into you to do the taxes. That's one piece of advice.
I would say plan prior to tax season. Be in contact with your tax preparer prior to tax season, and have your information together when you come in. So that's what I would offer.
How about you, Ms. Crook? What's the best advice you can give?
I would say have everything. Tell us everything. You
box of receipts.
Yes, box of receipts, whatever you got going on, like tell us everything, because you could say one thing that can make us connect that to something that can give you $5,000. So be transparent and tell us everything. We're not trying to, we're asking questions because we're trying to help you get the most that you can get, or pay or owe the least possible. So
okay, it's like talking to your lawyer. Even if you know you wrong, just tell him everything.
We got you.
Everything.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead, Miss Mika. Give me information so that people know where they can reach you at for doing that, for doing business with you. Whether any of your business, just give me information.
All right. So you can email me. It's at herself@shamekafreeman.com, SHAMECKA Freeman, FREEMAN.com. Also, I'm on the Exact Tax website, which is exacttax517.com. Zena's also going to reiterate that, but yes, I'm on there. There's a lot of us, there's a group of us, so you can find me on that page as well.
Okay, now I got a lot of family in Detroit and in the surrounding areas. Could you please tell them about the child care service that you're going to be providing soon?
Oh yeah, so coming soon, and the next probably about 2 months, we're going to have Planted Learn and Play. It's a holistic, whole child center daycare, and so we're going to be 24 hours, and we are taking on new kids. Right now, we have a waiting list, and so the waiting list is open. So yeah, bring them on.
Awesome. Take it away, Ms. Crook.
All right. No, I'm just kidding. I have Airbnbs in Atlanta. I have that. I am a realtor as well too. I have a license in Michigan and in Georgia. So I am available for people with that, and of course, taxes. You can call me 678-608-8781 or text Exact Tax. We are on Facebook. We're on Instagram. I'm on Facebook and Instagram personally as well too. Zena Crook, Facebook Zena on Air Crook, and also the website exacttax517.com, XZACTTAX517.com, and the link for our app is also on the website, so they can go right on there, and it says file now, I believe, or start now, or get started or something. We offer loans, and we have a lot of giveaways. So we are giving away $500. We are giving away for 3 people to get their taxes filed for free next year. We're giving away a trip to Atlanta for 2 to go to our gala that we have every year. It's a formal gala, and we're also giving away a car. A CAR.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Good plugs. Miss Freeman, did you give your phone number for them to be able to contact you? I don't know if you did or not. Did you?
Oh, nope. You can reach me at 313-801-2734, 313-801-2734.
Gotcha. You women have been awesome. We appreciate you coming in and give us
your
lovely advice and expertism. We appreciate that. Now, I just have one thing before I let you go, Ms. Crook. Now, you said you were on-air personality now. I've done that line of work as well. And I'm actually looking to get into it a little bit deeper because I did it for Fayetteville State University. We're gonna have to talk about that. I'm gonna hit you up because I need some plugs.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So let's chop it up. And
Yep.
thank you guys again for everything. We appreciate you. We do it for the Culture Radio. Give my hand a round of applause.
Thank you, ladies, so much.
Appreciate you all.
Thank
And,
you.
before I let you go, one last thing: is there any other services that you provide, like in financial services, or it's just taxes, pretty much?
Oh, so we also business credit. We help people build business credit. That's something that is you know, I don't want to say it's new, but you know, it's something that it has a lot of advantages. So we do help people structure businesses correctly and build business credit. We also help with credit repair. We can give you information on how you can go in. I mean, a lot of people, and I've been victim to it too, pay people $1,000 and $2,000 to help fix your credit and this and that, and nothing happens. So we have resources, and we actually give people the steps to take care of that as well too.
All right, now is that just for businesses, or anybody could?
Personal credit. Yeah, personal credit. We help with that. And then as far as businesses, building business credit.
Because we were supposed to do a show on credit last week,
We were.
and we couldn't do it because we didn't have enough people to,
Mhm.
help us out with the show.
Yeah, I have I know the steps, but I have so much going on. I was gonna start a little business doing that, but one of my a friend of mine, she's kind of under our umbrella. She's a tax owner. She's somebody that you guys might want to have on there. Very knowledgeable. She'll tell you about LexisNexis. It's so much with that.
Oh yes, I'm gonna reach out to you, and hopefully you can reach out to her, and we can get you on there to help us out.
Yes.
Appreciate it. We thank you again. We do it for the Culture Radio, where our stories matter. We thank you guys for coming in, and everybody out there, thank you for listening. We are out of here. We see y'all next Wednesday. 5 minus 4.
1.
1 out.
Thank you,
Peace
ladies.
out.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.